Hello, my name is Dax Soul, and I'm a professor here at Queens College. I wanted to come today and welcome you and be part of this orientation that you're participating in for a variety of reasons. By profession, I'm a marine geophysicist, which means that I spend my time out in the oceans and I make big explosions and I do things like try to explore how volcanoes work. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today. What I want to talk to you about is something we call the liberal arts. And when we think about the liberal arts, we all kind of get a picture in our head, right? We kind of have an understanding of what the liberal arts is. So let's make that a question, right? What are the liberal arts? Are the liberal arts where we at Queens College try to turn you into a liberal? No, that's not really what that's all about, right? The liberal arts goes all the way back to the ancient Greeks. It's essentially what they thought it took for you to be a full participating member of society. It was the body of knowledge that a citizen needed, right? So when we think about the liberal arts, there are a variety of topics that easily come to mind. Poetry, definitely the liberal arts, right? Literature, drama, all of these things kind of fit into the liberal arts kind of an idea, right? But what about things like math and STEM skills? Are those the liberal arts? Yeah, they are. So I'm going to ask you to do I'm going to tell you a story about myself. And then I'm going to ask you to do a few very important things while you're here at Queens College. When I was a student originally, I didn't do very well. And the truth is I dropped out after just a couple of years in college. I worked for about a decade, and then when I came back, my intent was to finish a history degree. And I absolutely love history. It's one of my passions. But the very first class that I took was Shakespeare 212. We studied King Lear and Hamlet, to be or not to be. And it just so happened that that class in that summer term was taught in the geology building. So as we were studying all of these wonderful Shakespearean plays, student Dax was daydreaming about what he saw on the walls, big diagrams of maps of the ocean floor. Pictures of people on top of mountaintops or exploring amazing, interesting places on our Earth. And it didn't take me long to decide that that was the career path that I wanted. So while you're at Queens College, I want you to be aware that the path that you've started on may not be the path that you finish up with. And if you find yourself daydreaming, I want you to give it a good hard look and think about the various ways that your actions could take you to where your dreams actually are, right? So what are the three big important things that you need to do while you're at Queens College? Well, the very first one is you need to show up, right? You're paying for an education, and the only way you get the benefit of that education is if you show up, right? Show up for your classes. Show up for the scheduled office hours for your professors, right? If you don't understand the material yet, then keep it in mind that they still have work to do. Let them do it, right? Show up. If you find somebody that's doing something that you think is very interesting, ask to hold a clipboard. Show up, right? All right, big thing number 2, and I want you to write this one down. While you're at Queens College, I want you to be fearless, right? We've got a planet of 7.4 billion people, right? That's a lot of people. And the only way you're going to build a career that has any level of security is if you find a way to demonstrate that you can do hard things. We need people who can do hard things. So while you're at Queens College, I want you to take the time to sign up for classes that scare you. Because I can also promise you something. The difference between people who can do hard things and the people who cannot has nothing to do with where you went to high school, how smart you think you are. It has everything to do with how hard you're willing to work, whether or not you're willing to give the sweat equity it takes to be successful. If you'll commit to eating the pages of the book to get the material digested, I promise you that you can get it done, right? So be fearless. The last thing, and this is one of the most important for sure, is to follow your nose, right? It always knows. If you find yourself daydreaming in a Shakespeare class about the pictures on the wall, go investigate, right? Find your path, because I can promise you that I know where your spectacular lies. And it's the places that your mind takes you when you relax, right? It's on the backs of your eyelids. It's your dreams that you have the ability to be passionate enough about and obsessive enough about to actually be very, very successful with, right? So follow your nose. All right. Now, I've got one other thing I want you to consider while you're here at Queens College, and that's the fact that our planet needs you, right? Our Earth needs superheroes. You live in a coastal city in an era of sea level rise, right? And if you can just think for yourself, the amount of money that got spent in the wake of something like Superstorm Sandy, or the amount of money that we're currently investing in the coronavirus crisis, right? I want you to recognize that over the next 50 years, every single piece of infrastructure you've ever seen, every building, every bridge, all the subways, they were all designed with last century's sea levels in mind. So whether or not you make a career out of it, or whether or not you're just a voter, being aware of our environmental challenges are going to be very, very important. You're going to have to be part of the decisions that get made, right? So I want you to consider a couple of different kinds of classes. The first type of class that I want you to consider is a geology class, right? What is geology? Well, we all think of earthquakes and volcanoes, right? Tsunamis, black smokers. It's also time travel, right? If you're the kind of person who likes to touch things, see things, and do things, geology classes are a great thing to explore, right? So write down Geology 101, right? If you're the kind of person who goes to the Museum of Natural History and thinks, oh my gosh, this stuff is so cool, just recognize that the Discovery Channel films what I do for a living, right? The other type of class I want you to consider is an environmental science class, and I want you to write this down too. NSci 99/100/112, right? What's environmental science? Environmental science is the air that you breathe, right? It's the water you drink. It's where your food comes from. It's where your trash goes. It's where you should let your children play. It's where toxins are still a big problem in New York City. If you want to go from somebody who sounds like a know-it-all to somebody who actually knows quite a bit, take an environmental science class. You'll never lose another argument on Facebook or Snapchat or whatever it is that you guys use these days, right? All right. So Geology 101, Environmental Science 99/100/112. Those are classes that I think you should explore, right? All right. I think that's it for today. Welcome to Queens College. Right? I really, really, really want you to recognize the challenges that are ahead of you and the fact that you are here to do hard things, right? And if you'll do those three things, I promise you that the world will be an amazingly fruitful place. You'll be able to do what you want to do, all right? That's it. Thank you so much for your attention, and please, if I don't see you this term, I certainly hope I see you some term. Come by and say hi. Thank you so much.